What's up, buddy? Thanks for having us in. We're here at your place.
Yeah.
Thanks
no
for
problem.
having us in, man. Luke is going bonkers here. He hasn't been here yet.
Yeah, so I've been next door a few times, but not been in here yet. And as soon as you walk in, the smell is just intoxicating. It's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What is that smell today? What is the
Probably smelling the pizza. Pizza oven.
Is that always pretty overwhelming of the smell?
Not that bad. It's just in the morning. We're just getting the fire started, so it's a little extra smoke.
Okay. Yeah.
And we usually roast all of our mushrooms and peppers and garlic and everything in the pizza oven in the morning. So.
Oh, that's
So
what
if you're
it
coming
is.
here, come in the morning because it smells amazing.
It is. See, that's my type of potpourri. Like my mom used to do like the cinnamon sticks and all that. And remember those back in the day? Well, I say back
that was
in the
a
day.
little bit before my time, I think.
That's a little before
when you
Luke's
didn't just
time.
have it in a bottle to spray.
That's true. Well, my mom did some sort of witch's concoction, and I like the smell of that better than like cinnamon and all that.
Yeah, 100%.
Stuff,
It's
you know?
almost like when you're in your neighborhood and you're getting home or whatever, and you smell someone making barbecue, and you're like, oh, I got to go find where that is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So Mario, what is the name of this? How do you say it properly?
It's Osteria Mia.
Okay.
Some people say Osteria, but it's Osteria. It has nothing to do with oysters. You know,
Okay.
we're not an oyster bar.
Oh, do you get that often?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
At least once a week. People
Once
say,
a
where's the
week.
oysters? How are you oyster bar without oysters?
Well, oyster is O-Y. Say it with me, right?
Maybe they think it's oyster in Italian.
Exactly. They do. Yeah. They think we're an oysteria, like a pizzeria.
Have you ever had oysters here?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do it once in a while on weekends usually.
Okay.
You know, just got to keep it fresh. We do them on weekends when we know we're going to be busy. And, yeah, sell like crazy probably because people are expecting oysters.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. That's right. I'm gonna start selling it. Best oysters in town. Go up to Osteria Mia. So now, are you originally from Arizona? I couldn't remember if we talked about that.
I was actually born here, and
Okay.
then right after I was born, my parents moved back to New York, and then we
Okay.
came back out about 13 years later.
Okay.
So I've been in Arizona since mid-90s pretty much.
Your formidable years.
Yes.
You went through high school here, right?
Yes, yeah, I moved right before high school.
I think we went to the same high school
Yes.
last time we were together. I think we talked about that actually.
Yep, Desert Mountain.
That's right. That's right. Did you guys fight?
No, I think I was a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
Well, so but back in New York, the family has a history of doing what you guys do.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, my grandfather moved here, I think in the late 50s, and he had restaurants between Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Moved here as far as moved to.
That was in New York. So
Okay.
my grandfather's from New York. Moved to New York from Italy.
Okay.
And he had a bunch of restaurants, and then moved out here in the late 70s, early 80s, and he opened up restaurants actually downtown Phoenix. And then my parents stayed in New York, and then we moved out here in I believe 97 or 98, and then they got a construction business, and then they sold that and got back into the restaurant business in about 2007.
Wow. You guys
Was the family doing restaurant stuff in Italy or no?
No, my family, they're farmers. They did
Oh, wow.
olives and made olive oil, and they're actually kind of like brokers, olive oil brokers essentially. They would grow their own product, but then also buy olives from other farmers and kind of be like the middleman to sell it to olive oil producers.
So still connected to food, but not
Yes.
in the same way that you guys are now. Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of citrus and olives. And then my grandfather moved here with all his brothers, and a lot of them actually opened up Italian restaurants in New York.
Was there a specific, was it like a general Italian type restaurant, or were they, focusing on certain things?
You know what? I'm too young to remember them.
Need to
I'm not
ancestry,
sure what they
dude.
did.
Come on.
I know my grandfather did your more typical Italian food, kind of
Okay.
like chicken parmesan, kind of more immigrant Italian. Not authentic Italian. They
Sure.
were selling what Americans were expecting out of an Italian restaurant.
Gotcha. Lots of cheese on the chicken.
Yes,
With
exactly.
the sauce. Do you like that? You like
I
that?
don't mind chicken parmesan. I can't remember the last time I ate one, but
Okay.
if it's in front of me, I'll eat it.
Yeah. Well, I said ancestry. I joke about that. They make you think that you sign up and then you put your social security number in and it gives you a whole chart of here's your history. I did the 7-day free trial and I couldn't figure out shit. At the end I connected my mom's birth certificate to mine. I'm like, there we go, nailed it. So it wouldn't have helped. So where did your food experience begin? As far as were you all into cooking at a young age?
My first job was in a restaurant. I was 14, almost 15. My grandfather actually he sells gelato and Italian ices. He was making his rounds, selling his product to a coffee shop. Like, hey, we're looking for someone kind of work as a sandwich maker, and he pretty much signed me up and forced me to go get a job.
Yeah.
I was in a restaurant, and then I always worked in restaurants, and when I was about 18, my parents got back in the restaurant industry, and then I worked with them. Tried going to college to get out of this industry, but it kept on pulling me back in.
Yeah.
And Italian food is something that I've always been interested in. My mother, my whole life, pretty much cooked 7 days a week, so I learned a lot from her. And then just kept on working in restaurants, and Italian food's kind of my passion. I love just the simplicity of Italian food. It's just something I decided to pursue.
Okay. What is that? What is that simplicity? Because I know I get it. I make shit complicated, right? So what is it in the simplest form?
Well, in the simplest form, Italian food is all about locality, which you get fresh, at the market or in your area. So it's just pretty much showcasing high quality ingredients and just simple techniques.
Okay.
It's not super fancy like French cuisine. It's just all about the ingredients. So sometimes we'll do, say, a pizza with jalapenos and everything. Because that's not Italian. I was like, well, it's a pizza with jalapenos, and that's kind of local flavor. So to me, that is Italian because we're showcasing our local product.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think Arizona is a great place for like fusion type cuisines as well. You see a lot of people opening up places that blend the cultures, and I think Arizona is a good hub for that kind of food.
Yeah, we do that often. Our original concept for the pandemic, we were almost going to do an Italian meets Southwest cuisine. It's a little bit more riskier to kind of do something like that, so everybody talked me out of it, but we still do showcase it once in a while. Like we have elotes as an appetizer. We'll do just an Italian style elotes where we'll take the corn on the cob, put instead of just mayo, we'll do a basil aioli. We do cotija cheese, or not, sorry, instead of cotija cheese, we'll use ricotta salata. So we'll kind of take
nice.
local flavors and add our own Italian twist to it. That's where we get to have fun, especially during the specials. We always have like a handmade pasta. We'll do something with chorizo in it or jalapenos, So we do like to kind of have some fun here as well.
Is there a type of cuisine outside of Italian that you would say inspires you the most?
That's a good question. I love Japanese cuisine because it's kind of the same concept. They're all about the quality of the ingredients and nothing crazy, nothing fancy. It's just about the highest quality fish and pork that you can get and everything. So I love Japanese cuisine. That
is the last one I expected. For me, it's always Mexican food, which is what I was expecting you to say. But
yeah, I don't know much about Mexican food. Kind of like what people know as far as Italian food in Arizona. It's not really Italian food. It's Italian immigrant food. It's stuff that my grandparents were making in the 1960s with the little limited ingredients they have in the United States. So they kind of took their influences and kind of made a kind of a fusion, Italian American food, Mexican food here. I don't feel like I've never seen a chimichanga in Mexico, I feel like our Mexican food out here is kind of the same thing. It's not real Mexican food, You're starting to see more places kind of pop up that are doing that, but what we know as far as Mexican food, it's just loaded with cheddar cheese and beans on everything,
Tortilla, cheese, meat, and vegetables.
Yeah.
That's a Jim
I
Gaffigan
don't
joke.
feel like that's traditional Mexican food,
Yeah. Although the chimichanga apparently was invented in Tucson. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Charo Cafe, I think it's still open.
Really?
Yeah, apparently they accidentally dropped a burrito in the fryer like 80 years ago.
Oh, good accident.
Genius.
I know.
I still love chimichangas.
I do. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And that fusion is going to happen, right? Like, you're going to have the people that stick to traditions, but that fusion is kind of what you need, right? It's that where you get those outside perspectives of, like, well, I never thought of it that way. Well, yeah, because you have especially more of an expert, I would think. You have more of I don't know. I think you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This will be super authentic, and actually, we try to be a little bit more authentic. We do we do have fun and add some different items that are not straight up authentic, but then 75% of our menu is more authentic.
Yeah.
People that are from Italy come here and they have a kind of discerning predisposition about us, like, oh, it's just to be another Italian restaurant. And they're like, oh, actually, that was very good. We haven't had food like that since back home, So
Nice.
But then also people come in and yell at us because we don't have mozzarella sticks or endless bread baskets and stuff.
Yeah.
So it works our favor for the most part. But some people just walk out look at our menu, be like, oh, you don't have chicken parmesan, I'm leaving. So
Yeah, dude, I think you would make some badass mozzarella sticks.
yeah, well, actually, it's funny. We put them on our happy hour menu. We did just a fried mozzarella, and just our happy hour menu, and it's still so crazy. People begged us to put them on the regular menu, so now I do have our own version of fried mozzarellas.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
delicious. At least we make the mozzarella in house,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it sells like crazy. It's an easy appetizer for our kitchen to handle, so why not?
Us Americans do Americanize many cuisines, but we do a damn good job of it.
Yeah.
We do, right? Yes.
just
From
deep fry
fried
everything.
mozzarella to fried
exactly.
burritos. There you go.
Yep.
Just deep fry that.
Cheese, deep fry it. So now, going back a little bit, you said you kept coming back to the restaurant side of things. Was there any moment or anything that happened that you were like, all right, man, this is it. Now I'm going to double down, put all my eggs in this basket of being a chef?
Yeah, about 10 to 12 years ago, my parents had a chef that walked out on them. I was just a line cook, just trying to pay my way through college. Chef walked out on them, and I was like, you know what? I'll step up and do it. And, I didn't know much back then, but it kind of threw me into a position of leadership at a young age. And I'm the type of person that I fully commit to myself, to anything I do. So I kind of immerse myself in every aspect of cooking you can. I've watched every documentary, I've read every cookbook, every autobiography, kind of immerse myself in it. The better I got, the more I liked it, And,
Yeah. That helps, right? When you start to get that validation, like, oh shit, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, and it's something I've always done. Like, I've always cooked, just watching my mom, and like when my friends were partying spring break, I was always cooking. Wherever we were on vacation, I was always the one cooking, and something I've always enjoyed doing is cooking. And
Yeah.
Next spring break with Mario.
I know.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, dude, that's a whole mini series we can do. Yeah.
So as you're going through this journey of, trial by fire, jumping into, the kitchen the way you were, going from line cook to leading the kitchen, what kind of things are you learning along the way that are really fundamentally changing the way that you operate in there?
Obviously, cooking comes natural to me. Something I've had to learn is leadership. People don't realize running a kitchen is not just being able to cook. It's so many. I barely get to cook anymore. It's pretty much I'm like a father figure to my kitchen, even with the guys older than me. They kind of look at me as the leader. I have to lead by example, but then kind of learn everyone's weaknesses, and so leadership is definitely a big part of being a chef. It's when I was in Chicago, I barely even touched a knife and I didn't cook any food. I was pretty much leading the kitchen, just making sure everything ran smoothly. So that's definitely the most important part of this position.
And is that something you've always felt that you're strong at, that you kind of just naturally grew into, or was it a journey to get to the point where you could do that?
I think I've always had natural leadership abilities. With sports and everything, I was kind of always the guy to pump up everyone before the football game. I was always the one with my friends organizing any vacation, any spring break,
Vandalism.
vacation, everything. So I've always had leadership abilities. Something I've had to learn how to do was kind of tone myself back a little bit. I was obviously the stereotypical hot-headed young chef, and you know what? People were quitting, and I was like, oh, maybe why is everybody quitting? I'm the hardest worker in the kitchen, but then you realize it's way more than just leading by example. You kind of have to make people like you,
Yeah.
You have to have people believe in you,
Sure.
in order for them to follow you. So that's been my biggest transition, Past couple of years since my daughter was born, I've personally gone on a kind of a journey finding myself, and we've done podcasts and stuff in the past about beer leadership and everything. Everybody knows that I'm not afraid to speak my mind. That's something I've had to tone back a little bit. I was like, just how I was raised. I was raised to stand up for yourself and don't back down. And as you get older, you realize, okay, sometimes you just gotta pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been the number one thing I've learned in the kitchen is like choose your battles.
Because there's plenty to choose from, right?
Yeah, exactly. Every day is a new battle, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
So what are those kind of battles, and are they happening for you mostly in the kitchen, or is it even out of the kitchen? Like right now, I know I hear from a lot of people, keeping people on staff or getting ingredients is difficult to do, let alone, cooking them and putting them out into the world.
Yes. Yeah. Right now, staffing's a nightmare. So that's kind of what I pick and choose my battles. I'm the type of person that I want everything to be perfect, and if I have a server that forgets to bring a steak knife for the steak, or for a steak, it's gonna piss me off. But lately, you got to hold on to whatever staff you could get. There's a staffing crisis right now, and I'm lucky that I have a good crew, but sometimes I do have to deal with someone for a little bit longer than I would like to, knowing that they're kind of bringing my restaurant down a little, maybe not giving the best service, maybe always late, and I have to kind of bite the bullet sometimes recently and just kind of roll the punches and deal with what I have. I'm really lucky to have a great kitchen crew that have been with me pretty much since day one, but as far as front of the house, it's people are realizing, I can make money just sitting at home doing nothing. It's not as much money, but I can make a good amount of money doing nothing. I can support myself. So people just aren't working right now. So you got to be very grateful for the staff you do have. I know people that have had to close their restaurants because they didn't have any servers that night, so I get lucky. At least I have a few people show up every shift. So I make
What is it like navigating that experience? Because I haven't run a restaurant before, but I don't think it's been this bad that I've ever been aware of. How is it trying to explain to customers and still provide that experience that you want to, but dealing with low staff all the time?
Most people don't realize that. They don't realize that. There is a crisis. They just see the front of the house kind of operations. They don't see what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of people have been pretty lenient with us and everything, but we try not to show it. Like I had no servers on Sunday. I came in just to do my orders, and none of my servers or bartenders showed up. So I had to serve. I got kind of busy, and I just told people, listen, nobody wants to work today. That's why I'm in my jeans, my T-shirt. I'm in my casual clothes. I'm not actually here to work. I randomly stopped in to pick some stuff up, and now I'm serving you. So, but some people got a little impatient, but it's me by myself.
And then they start asking for oysters and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it just goes off the rails.
Yeah, I don't belong anywhere in the front of the house. I'm more of a behind the scenes person. So it was fun. I made it work. I didn't die. But some people just don't understand. They're like, well, why did I have to wait this long for a table? It's like, well, when we you have half your restaurant available.
I see a
to
table right there.
Yeah. Why can't I just sit there? It was like, well, because I have nobody to serve you, because there are other people over here first, and we have to make sure they have a good experience. So it is rough. Some people just don't understand, and they don't believe that there is a crisis, but there definitely is a crisis that is directly related to unemployment and stimulus checks. Definitely is not the wages earned working in this industry, at least, or service industry, because people get paid fairly well in this industry.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, obviously a massive rabbit hole to go down with, all the different things that have happened over the past year. But for this place, how did you guys weather the storm, and what are you kind of looking at coming out of it are there any changes you're making?
Well, they opened up during the storm, right?
Yeah, we opened up in pretty much May of 2020.
In the eye of the storm.
Yeah, it was. We had to kind of just pivot and rewrite the playbook. We had all these hopes and aspirations, and then we're gonna open in March, and we decided to wait it out a little bit to see what happens. The whole 2 weeks flatten the curve thing turned 2 months, and we're like, you know what, we're paying rent, we just got to go for it. So we opened up as a to-go only restaurant, which I hate to-go food. I don't operate with DoorDash or Grubhub or any of those places, and I had to figure out how to become a to-go food restaurant. Some pasta is not good to go, like a carbonara. It's pretty much fresh egg and cheese and bacon, so it's not going to be good to go. So I had to kind of change my menu. That was the first start, and then in the beginning, it was pretty much, there were some days where I was the only person in the kitchen. My wife was the only server.
Wow.
We luckily had a few people helping us out here and there, but that was the beginning of the pandemic. People were afraid to work. Luckily for me, I had people that were laid off of the previous business that I worked at. I had some cooks and everything that kind of came over. I was like, listen, I'll pay you cash today just to come and help me make some pizza dough or make some cheese or something. So we made it work, and for a while restaurants were illegal, and that wasn't fun. I was trying to open a brand new business, keep it operational in the middle of a pandemic. It was rough. It was stressful. I could imagine. This was my, I think, 15th restaurant I've been part of opening from within the family, and other restaurants I've been part of openings. And I thought I was ready for it, and I was like, you know what, we're ready for it. My wife, I met her in restaurants. She's been working since she was 15 in restaurants too. We were like, okay, we're kind of OGs of this industry. Now we're ready to go. And then the pandemic happened and just threw us a curveball. But we're pretty resilient. We made it through. There's a lot of 18, 19-hour days where I just had to stay after the rush just to keep on prepping food. But we made it through the worst part, and as we go, once we get a good staff member, we'll do anything we can to keep them happy, keep them on the team. So luckily we have a good crew right now. I can still use more people. I still don't even have all my chairs and tables put out in the dining room because I flat out just can't handle any more volume.
Yeah.
With the small staff we have. So still challenges. We still are getting the mask holes coming in. Like, oh, you're not wearing masks. Fuck you, Sorry. Sorry.
I was surprised it took 20 minutes and 30 seconds.
I've been trying not to drop the F-bomb.
Dude, Mar, you've been doing great, man.
But yeah, people still come in, and we have 140 reviews on Yelp. The 15 one-star Yelp reviews are mentioned a mask. So we still got to deal with that. Still got to kind of show that we care. We're still sanitizing everything. We still have our tables 6 feet apart. But we have, I'm not a very big supporter of this whole that whole issue. So I'm trying to keep my guests feeling safe while still being able to pay my bills. So that's a tricky one. So,
well, after that. So I was going to ask, when you have the plans, so obviously the plan to open the restaurant came way before, COVID hit.
Yes.
But I could just see your household when they would announce everything was shut down. You were like, fuck it, we're still opening.
Yeah.
I don't care. Was that kind of what, because you guys have been playing it much longer, right?
Yeah, I would have opened no matter what, even if it was legal or not. I started paying rent in March, and I had to have some sort of revenue. It wasn't really fair what they did with the restaurants, shutting us down when there was no limitations on Home Depot and Fry's and Bash's and all those places, So I don't think it's fair. The government's trying to kind of make up for their bad decision by giving away free money, which after 3 different loans or grants, we still haven't been approved for anything. So that's been rough. We couldn't get approved for the EIDL or the PPP, being that we were a new restaurant. They only allowed restaurants that were open in 2019 prior to getting anything funded. We applied for the restaurant relief fund. That dried up before they even got to our round. We're not veteran or women owned, so technically my wife's the owner, but her name's not nothing, so we couldn't apply for that. So we missed out on that. So $0 from the government, but it's good. Keep on trying.
Keep fighting, man.
Yeah.
Keep on fighting, right? Well, so let's go back a little bit to what made you guys decide to open up this spot, because we've met before this open through State 48, right?
Yes.
With the brewery, and also the best Stromboli I've ever had was is it your brother's spot?
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Ocampo? So yeah, Ocampo's been there for 8 or 9 years now. I helped him get that open, kind of wrote him a menu, and my brother James has been operating that since pretty much day one. So yeah, I went off on a tangent.
I was thinking about the Stromboli, actually.
Stromboli, yeah. I started thinking about his food too. Yeah.
For you guys, what made you and your wife decide to open up?
Well, we were at the brewery, and after 4 locations got open, they were pretty much on cruise control. Things were getting. I was just getting a little bored. I love beer. Beer's a passion, but I don't brew. I run the kitchens.
Yeah.
I get a little sick of just making tacos and hamburgers. I do like to cook, and I want to kind of showcase what I have to offer. When they were looking at the location next door for State 48 Rock House, I noticed that this was actually 2 units that were vacant. I was like, that's a great location. This whole Osteria area is one of the hottest spots to move to right now. Houses are selling in 3 hours, and just so much expansion with the semiconductor going in and everything. So we just said, hey, if you guys give us the same kind of concessions you gave State 48, we'll take the unit next door, and they agreed to it. And I went to my wife, and she's like, how are we going to be able to afford that? I was like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And we just we signed a lease. Signed a lease and made it happen.
No plan as far as had you guys been talking about, hey, let's open up an Italian restaurant?
Since the day we've met, we've always wanted to do a wine bar, because my wife loves wine. That's kind of her thing, is front of the house with wine. And we've been talking about it for years, planning it. I've had my Pinterest board for Osteria was just labeled Osteria for about 5 or 6 years now, just ideas on food and menu items and decor and everything. So we've had this planned, and we kind of manifested it through thought. We were ready, and we finally said, let's just go do our own thing. State 48 doesn't need us anymore. My wife was actually not even working for the past couple of years since she had her daughter. So we decided to pull the trigger and go for it, and best decision ever.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
That's
it's worth it. All the bullshit this past year's been worth it. It's okay. You're not gonna hold me down. We're like I said earlier, we're very resilient, and it's been great. I'm living my dream right now.
On the day that you first opened up for to-go service or whatever it was exactly at that time, what does that feel like? A Pinterest board alone for 6 years sounds like a lot for most people to get through before they open it. But you were even cutting your teeth before then. What does that feel like?
It's a great feeling. It was a very proud moment. We did it on our own. We helped the family open up. I think they have like 8 restaurants. And you know what? It was still a proud moment to open up a restaurant because I pretty much turned State 48 from an idea. My parents like, okay, this is what we want. They built it and everything, and then I pretty much turned it from an idea into an actual fruition.
Yeah.
But still, it's not yours. It's not yours 100%. I act like it was mine. I took pride as if it was my own, but it wasn't mine. The first day that we opened, I cried. It was very emotional, and I'm not one to cry. And I was like, okay, this is my dream. Let's go. This is the first step in the direction I've always wanted to go in. It was a pretty emotional day, and the fact that I had to open up as a to-go restaurant wasn't cool.
But people were very lenient on the reviews, weren't they?
Yeah. No.
I was joking. Wasn't there somebody that was just like, I was there and they didn't? Like, it's like, lady, you just went to like a restaurant that opened during a pandemic. Like,
oh yeah. Our first weekend open was Mother's Day. I'm an idiot and decided to do like a 4-course.
That's what it was.
Menu.
Yeah.
So every order had 4 items to it. They got to choose their salad, their soup, their entree, and their dessert. So that was a nightmare. I had more comps that day than some restaurants do in sales, and still to this day, it was still our busiest day we've ever had. It was our first weekend open, and it was all to go. Yeah. And there was 4 items to each order, and we did a couple hundred orders, so it was a nightmare. And so we didn't start off that great as far as the reviews. There's still people that won't come in because of our first weekend open, and
you came out of the gate swinging, man. Like that's a lot to come swing with.
After all that time in the industry, you open up your place, and instead of making it easy for yourself, you came up with about the most difficult way of launching it.
Hey, I had already paid 2 months rent. I needed to go big that day.
Yeah.
Like when we opened our restaurant, we almost ran out of money. We almost ran out of capital just trying to keep this place afloat before we even opened without any revenue. So it was a whole other world. I didn't have alcohol and beer sales, which are a large percentage of sales. So
yeah.
Plus, it's just cost so much more cost with all the to-go items. In the beginning of the pandemic, to-go boxes and silverware and bags, everything were just hard to find, but B, just way overpriced. So, and we didn't want to inflate our prices to account for it, because we didn't want to have the kind of sticker shock like, oh, Osteria Mia is so expensive, because we're already more expensive than other restaurants in this area. Just due to the quality of the goods, of the product. So, that was another fun issue. Yeah, people just don't realize how this pandemic has just messed up everything. You asked me earlier about product. Like, I couldn't even get my normal chicken breast the past couple of weeks. Luckily nobody wants to buy the really expensive organic chicken breast, so that's the only thing that's left through our distributor right now. So I'm paying almost $6 a pound for chicken breast right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I normally do like $3.50, $3 range.
Wow. I think $6 is like what I pay for my chicken breast. And I try and get the nice stuff too.
Yeah, and it's just literally chicken added into a pasta and a salad. Yeah, I mean,
why is it? What's going on with chicken right now? Because I know wings are.
I think in the beginning of the pandemic, ranchers and farmers didn't want to be sitting on a lot of product, so they didn't plant or raise a lot of animals or plants or anything in the beginning. And now that this is the time that they're harvesting, and now all these local economies are slowly starting to open up, there's way greater demand than supply, because restaurants are opening up now, and there's a limited supply anyway. So right now we're in the worst of it.
Makes sense.
It should even out in the next year or so, but the next couple months is just going worse. Like, I tell everyone, expect to pay $20 for a hamburger, because beef is just going way up, and product's crazy right now.
Our last episode that was released was with Perry Landon Cattle, and they're a local cattle company that even grows a lot of their own grain and does composting and creates a really awesome local product. they talked about how they had raised 100 head of cattle preparing it for market, and then the pandemic hit right after that. And so it's like, if you got through this with minimal problems, count your blessings, because you are very, very lucky. One of the few people to not encounter something like that if you're running a business, that is.
Yeah. And multiple things, it seemed, right?
Yeah.
One thing got solved, and it's like, oh, well, what about
Another
this?
thing pops up, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Every month there's a new issue in this industry, and the supply is something that's scaring me. We're probably eventually going to just take chicken breast off our menu as an option. So now you're not going to be able to get chicken with a pasta or salad.
Which was interesting, because that used to be like the go-to meat, right? Like the kind of the inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken is always, or pork's the cheapest, but chicken, it's not that much difference in quality between really expensive chicken breast and a mid-range chicken breast. So yeah, so it's just hard. Like, I haven't been able to find my normal shrimp for 2 months now. So I'm buying whatever shrimp they have. Everything.
Yeah.
And I'm at an Italian restaurant. Italy was hit the hardest in the beginning of the pandemic. Remember they shut down.
Oh,
they
that's
were
right.
kind of the hotspot. A lot of my products are imported from Italy, and I feel like they still haven't recovered.
Wow.
I couldn't get certain products I wanted to get. I have to special order some cheeses and everything that they normally would just always have in stock. So that was also another rough item. And cheese and everything from Italy is still so much more expensive.
So despite shortages of just about anything you needed to get your hands on, you did get the place open, and people are having a good time in here now. Walk us through your menu a little bit. I know we talked generally about it, but what are some of the specific items that people love, or that you personally love, to share with people?
Well, our biggest draw is our fresh made pasta. We make pasta in-house every day. We have a pasta extruder, and then we do some other handmade pasta shapes as far as raviolis.
In the
gnocchi.
window, I got to point that out.
Yes.
Like, it's out for display. You can walk up and watch people make pasta.
Yeah, we figured that'd be a good selling point for us. On a Friday night, if we're not too busy, I'll send one of my cooks in that room to go make some pasta, and it's kind of a show.
Disco ball. Drop down.
Yeah, recording us and everything. You feel like a zoo animal in that room. Because people literally stare at you like you're not a real person. It's funny. But it's actually a great idea, though. It shows people, hey, the pasta's made here, fresh. We do have great pizza. We do wood-fired pizza. It's not necessarily Neapolitan pizza. People always say, well, this isn't like Neapolitan. I like my pizza better than Neapolitan. Neapolitan pizza, to me, is just too doughy, and I don't like how it's flimsy. We do almost a hybrid Neapolitan / New York style. My family pretty much grew up making New York style pizza. It's a family recipe. We don't get VPN certified because we use beer in our dough. So
What's a VPN certified?
There's the pretty much the certified Neapolitan style pizza.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But you just have to have like
I had
flour.
no idea that was a
yeast.
thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good selling point. I think Piazza Al Forno, he's probably VPN certified. He makes great, probably in my mind, the best Neapolitan style pizza. Arizona. So we're just a little bit different. Our pizza's a little bit crispier. It's about the same size, cooked the same. We use olive wood, which is what the traditionally used in Italy because of all the olive trees and everything. So we use olive wood. I have an imported Italian wood-fired oven. There's no gas, just straight up.
That's like the belle of the ball for me. Like that oven, and you told me a story about how you got that, right? Is that something?
Yes. Yeah. We I was in the market for ovens, and it was right in the beginning of the pandemic, and our landlords at one of the State 48 locations pretty much seized the restaurant that was going under, and they were about to change the concept from a sushi bar to a wood-fired concept, and they never opened. And so there's this brand new imported Italian oven that I got for pretty much pennies on the dollar, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. And it's actually bigger than the oven I probably would have gone with. So it's a great oven. We cook everything in there. Any of our toppings or ingredients for pastas that we kind of par cook, like mushrooms and bell peppers, we cook everything in the oven. It gives a great flavor. We pretty much half our menu we prep in the oven. I don't have a regular convection oven in the kitchen, so most items are done in there.
Last time we met up for some beers, you mentioned how you personally would do the pasta a lot of the time because it was like meditative for you. Are you still doing that or no?
Yeah. I like to make sure everything's perfect, so I make most of the pastas. Every Tuesday I come in, just spend the whole day pretty much making pasta. Close on Mondays, so we have to replenish for the weekend. and we pretty much, our pasta, we dry it, so you always need to be a day or two ahead, so we make it fresh every day for the next day. And yeah, that's definitely our draw. That and the pizza, I think I would boldly say I have some of the best pizza in Arizona. We make the mozzarella fresh every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's actually funny. So a lot of pizzerias, they'll use imported cheese and imported mozzarella, imported tomatoes. I actually use domestic products. I use the Alta Cucina tomatoes out of California. Great product. I feel like they're just fresher. And then we use Belgioso cheese curd, which is from Wisconsin. I just feel like it's just has better flavor than the Italian stuff. Like we used to use Grande, and okay, it's Italian, but you have to think, how old is that cheese? It's from Wisconsin. It's only a couple days old. So yeah, we make the mozzarella fresh every day, and probably make a couple 100 pounds of mozzarella a week. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, let's see. 20 pound block. 240 pounds a week.
Wow.
Mozzarella.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a big draw for our pizza. Just
Basically, Eric's weight in mozzarella.
How much? What was it again?
240.
Oh yeah, close, close. Yeah, throw a keg in there, and then you got it.
And that plays really nicely into your ideology, which others share, about what Italian food really is, being local and whatnot. It's not necessarily all made in Arizona, but the closer you get to here, the more that you represent that. Is that why you did that, or was it just because you like the taste?
Oh, you can't beat fresh made mozzarella. It's just so much better flavor. We add a little bit more salt to our mozzarella than you're gonna find with a commercially made product. So just salt brings out the flavor. We make everything in house. So there's one or two items we don't make. That's our gluten-free penne and our cauliflower crust, which is another gluten-free product. I don't really care about hand making gluten-free items, but it is a huge seller. So, but pretty much everything's made in house. That's our thing. We're not taking any frozen pasta out of a box. Everything is gonna be made right there. And even though it's not a lot of local product, during the pandemic, you couldn't find local product.
Yeah.
So
Still a struggle, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we use local wherever we can a lot of time in specials and stuff, but regular menu, it's our draw is fresh made everything made in house.
And local beers, I see.
Yeah, we like to support all the local guys. We go hyper local, other than Grand Canyon up in Williams, all the other guys we could find within a 2 mile radius of here, pretty much.
Yeah.
At least 5 mile. We got Ren House, Simple Machine, State 48, Front Porch. So we like to do local beer. The only wine that's not Italian wine is Arizona wine. So
Okay.
same thing with the wine list and cocktail menu. We just do some local
Very
spirits
impressive
mixed
cocktails.
with. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah.
Yeah, my wife does a great job with the cocktails. She, for a Italian restaurant, we do sell a good amount of beer and cocktails as well, and we try to go seasonal flavors with local spirits and all Italian liqueurs. It's kind of our thing. So local, seasonal, and Italian.
Nice, man. I'm glad you guys opened up so close to me. I'm like 7 minutes away, and I don't come here enough, man. I don't. I need
I
to.
know you're a busy man too.
Yeah, but not too busy to come eat great pizza and drink beer. And brunch. You have brunch too, right?
Yes, we do brunch every Sunday from 10 to 1. Yeah, they actually opened up a brunch spot right across from me, but I'll continue to do brunch.
Oh, are they really? Right,
Yeah.
right here where those guys are?
Yep.
What is
It's
it?
going to be an ecstasy
Oh, really?
chain
Yeah.
breakfast spot.
You got a plan?
I'm just going to keep on doing my thing, I don't even know if they have alcohol over there. And
Yeah.
our brunch is pretty much just a reason for people to day drink. So
Sure. Yeah.
and, like any
That's what brunch was created
Yeah,
for,
It
right?
is. Yeah. And eating breakfast a little bit later in the day, basically, is what it is. Yeah.
It's breakfast timed for day drinking.
That's right. Exactly. Yes. Well, dude, you guys are doing great here, man. I love the spot. I think that you're bringing a really cool presence to this little area here, this Norterra area.
Well, thank
right?
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the neighborhood's been very welcoming. We've had restaurants all over the valley, and I think this Norterra area is probably the most friendly, supportive neighborhood we've ever been a part of, and we're super grateful for that. Everyone's been awesome. I don't know if they've been a little bit more lenient just due to circumstances, or if we're just truly nice people.
Yeah.
But we made a great decision moving over here, and we actually, if there's more units available, we'd try to open up other concepts in this area. But nothing available right now.
Yeah. So you're looking to open up new. You have other concepts. I think you have a whole book. Like I have a notebook of like stupid beer ideas.
He's got endless Pinterest boards of the new content concepts.
Not to make fun of myself anymore, but yes, I have a lot of Pinterest boards and concepts. That's kind of
You've inspired me to get back into Pinterest,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
It's just not what you'd
my
expect.
wife makes fun of me. She's like, oh, she makes fun of me all the time, and you know, it's usul. You know,
It is.
It's just a vision board.
Yeah.
And
Gritty
but-
Italian dude.
yeah,
with
we're
his
gonna
Pinterest
open-
boards.
yeah, we're trying to open up a second location of this concept in Surprise.
Okay.
Surprise is another one of those neighborhoods that's great demographic, great neighborhood, but kind of limited in non-chain
Sure.
options. So
Yep.
they're doing a new development over by the Prasada area that they were
Okay.
supposed to build out like 15 years ago. They're finally following through with it. So we got an LOI right now on a spot right now, just waiting for them to either.
For location 2 of Osteria Mia.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, we're gonna
Very
open up over there. And then we got a bunch of different concepts we want to do a tiki bar. You know, we want to do kind of a dive bar. So we got some cool concepts.
French fry bar. I'd love for somebody to open a French fry
No
bar.
French fry bars.
We had French fry bar in high school. They actually had to get extra security on Thursdays because people would go mad to get to French fry bar. And
Wow.
it was French fries with like taco beef and like nacho cheese on it.
I think you just caught Mario's attention.
I know.
there.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Well, we're gonna make that pizza, right? The peanut butter pizza one of these
Oh yeah, I
days.
keep on forgetting about it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Have I made you that yet? The peanut butter pizza?
No,
Peanut
it doesn't
butter?
have like peanut butter and jalapenos or something like that.
Yeah, and pepperoni.
I mean, I like peanut butter and weird stuff, so I'm sure it's delicious.
It's not overwhelming. It's a very thin, just layer. On
You two
the
are a match made in hell
I
with
know.
that pizza right there.
Exactly. We're doing it. So, well, what's the big vision for like at the end of the day, like for you as a chef and the places you open, like what do you want to be?
Oh, I just want to have successful.
It's deep.
I just want to stay in business at this point. You know, I had so many hopes and aspirations before the pandemic. You know, as far as wine dinners and beer pairing dinners and everything, and
Yeah.
I just threw those all out the window for a little bit. You know, right now we're just trying to survive.
Sure.
Ideally, my wife and I want to open up kind of a little, not a restaurant group, sort of restaurant group. Use the name Mia, but we want to have a Untitled Mia. You know, she's a wine bar, so we want to have a more casual wine bar with just small plates. That's the concept we want to work on. We want to have a pizzeria Mia where we just focus on our pizza. We want to have a trattoria Mia, which is a little bit more upscale. So we want to have maybe more of a white tablecloth type of
Yeah.
fine dining Italian restaurant. We want to do a steakhouse. You know, so we have a lot of hopes and aspirations, and just gotta get through the pandemic. And as long as this one continues in the direction that's going, it might become a reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of Italian is what I like to do, but kind of want to expand on this concept. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want to just have 4 Osteria Mias. I want to have something, a reason for people to visit each different one. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
That's the goal right now.
I like it, man.
I don't know how much longer I can wait for some food.
You guys hungry?
We should wrap this up so we can eat before I go to my kids. Mario, thanks, man. We really appreciate it. Great job with the spot.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.